The stars stopped shining above New York City. Commander Jason Miller stood on the bridge of the USS Columbia, his coffee cup frozen halfway to his lips. His crew members pressed against the windows, watching as massive ships appeared in the dark sky. Each alien vessel was the size of Manhattan, casting shadows across the Atlantic Ocean. "Sir, we're getting reports from all over the globe," said Lieutenant Amy Watson, her hands shaking on the communications console. "London, Tokyo, Sydney, they're seeing the same thing. Ships everywhere." Jason set down his coffee and pressed the red emergency button. "All stations, battle alert. This is not a drill." In the Pentagon's underground command center, General Peter Blake watched screens light up with red warnings. Satellites showed more than 200 alien ships arranged in formation around Earth. "What do we know about them?" Blake asked his intelligence officer. "Nothing, sir. They just appeared. No radio signals, no communication attempts, they're just there." Far away in California, Dr. Lisa Porter worked late in her NASA office when the alarm started. She ran to the window and saw the massive ships hanging in the sky. Something about their design caught her attention. The patterns, the shapes. She had seen them before. She rushed to her computer and pulled up photos from the Mars rover missions. There were the same patterns in ancient ruins on the Red Planet. Her heart pounded. These aliens had been in the solar system before. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Major Kate Sullivan was leading a training exercise when the ships appeared. She immediately switched to emergency protocols. "All units, begin evacuation procedures," she ordered through her radio. "Civilians to underground shelters. Move, move, move." The city streets filled with panic. Cars collided, people screamed, and sirens wailed. Kate's team worked to direct the flow of people to safety points. She thought of her own family, her parents in Ohio, her brother in Seattle. Were they safe? On the USS Columbia, Jason received the first hostile action report at 0347 hours. "Commander, energy surge detected from the lead vessel," warned Ensign Chris Matthews at the sensor station. A beam of green light shot down from space. It hit the U.S. East Coast with terrifying precision. The light lasted 5 seconds. When it ended, Chicago was burning. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Watson, tears forming in her eyes. Communications exploded with distress calls. Chicago was gone. Not destroyed completely, but burning with an alien fire that wouldn't stop spreading. Rescue teams couldn't get close because of the intense heat. In underground bunkers, Private Tyler Barnes helped civilians find safe spots. An elderly woman clutched his arm. "Are they going to kill us all?" she asked. Tyler didn't know what to say. He was only 19, just finished basic training 2 months ago. "We'll protect you, ma'am. That's what we're here for." But even he wondered if they could fight against this. The alien ships lowered closer, to Earth. Their dark hulls blocked sunlight, casting entire cities into shadow. Then came the second wave of attacks. Plasma balls fell like rain across the globe. Sydney's harbor boiled. Tokyo's skyscrapers melted. Paris disappeared under clouds of green fire. Human air forces launched fighters, but the planes bounced off, invisible shields around the alien ships. In the cosmic realm, the elder gods observed through streams of reality. "The Voshkari have begun," spoke Elder Thurvani, her voice echoing across dimensions. Her children stood beside her, warrior beings bred for conquest. "These humans will fall quickly," said Kurvak, her eldest offspring. "Their technology is primitive. Their weapons are toys." Thurvani touched her child's arm. "Remember the old warnings. The precursors left us messages about this race." "They called them the doomed ones," said another child, dismissing the concern. "Because they don't know how doomed they are." The elder gods watched as the Voshkari warships engaged Earth's defense forces. Human missiles exploded harmlessly against alien shields. Laser weapons bounced off reflective hulls. Every human weapon failed. Yet something unusual began to happen. At Houston's Johnson Space Center, Dr. Benjamin Clark worked with his team through the night. They analyzed every piece of data from the failed attacks. "Look at this," said his assistant Rachel. "When our missiles hit their shields, there's a specific frequency disruption." Benjamin leaned forward. "Pattern recognition. Their shields use a wave-based defense system. If we can match the frequency, we might get through. Within hours, scientists across the world shared their findings. Humanity's best minds connected through secure networks working as one. On the USS Yorktown, Captain Ryan Hayes received the first defense modification order. His crew scrambled to implement the new weapon settings. Ready to test the new frequency, "Sir," reported his weapons officer. The first modified missile hit a Voshkari scout ship. The shield flickered. For just a moment it failed. "Did you see that?" Ryan shouted. "Fire again." But the aliens adapted quickly. The shields returned stronger. General Blake coordinated global defense from his command center. Reports flowed in from every continent. Casualties climbed past millions. Cities burned, but humanity fought back with growing coordination. In the Voshkari flagship, the High Council reviewed battle reports with growing confusion. "Why haven't they surrendered?" asked War Master Pexnari. "We've demonstrated our power. These humans seem to have no sense of their place," replied another. "They continue fighting despite impossible odds." The Elder Gods noticed the same thing. Thurvani frowned as she watched human pilots ram their damaged aircraft into alien ships. Such desperate tactics made no logical sense. "They fight differently than others," she murmured. Her children laughed. "They fight stupidly. Throwing away their lives achieves nothing." But Thurvani remembered ancient texts about human psychology. She had read about their history, how they turned on each other in countless wars, yet united against external threats. How they found strange ways to win when they should have lost. On Earth's surface, Major Kate Sullivan organized resistance in the occupied zones. Teams of survivors used the sewers to move between areas. They gathered supplies, helped wounded civilians, and planned counterattacks. "We can't beat them with direct force," she told her group. "We need to be smart." Her second-in-command, Sergeant Amanda Griffin, nodded. "We've been analyzing their patrol patterns. They follow rigid schedules." "Rigid schedules mean predictable behavior," Kate smiled grimly. "And predictable behavior means vulnerabilities. As the sun set on the first day of invasion, Earth was wounded but not broken. The aliens controlled major cities, but humans still fought in rural areas and underground. Communication networks remained active, sharing information and organizing. Resistance. Dr. Lisa Porter stayed in her NASA office, surrounded by screens showing Mars ruins and alien ship blueprints. She made connections between ancient alien technology and current Voshkari weapons. They've been planning this for thousands of years, she realized. But something went wrong with their timeline. The first day of invasion ended with both sides preparing for the next phase of war. Humans counted their dead and planned survival. The Voshkari expected quick victory but found determined resistance. In the cosmic realm, Elder Thurvani watched Earth with ancient eyes, thinking of old warnings. Never underestimate those who fight for their homes. Never ignore those who adapt quickly. Never face a human when they have nothing left to lose. Her children remained confident in their superior technology. But Thurvani wondered if they truly understood what they had begun. The Voshkari High Council gathered in their command chamber aboard the flagship Dominion. Holographic displays showed Earth burning beneath their weapons. War Master Pexnari examined reports with satisfaction. The first day's results exceed expectations, he announced to the council. Major population centers show 73% infrastructure damage. Human military response remains primitive. Kurvak, the council's military strategist, pulled up more detailed data. Their weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Their fastest ships crawl like insects compared to ours. The council members clicked their mandibles in approval. This conquest would be recorded in their victory chronicles, alongside hundreds of other worlds. "Deploy the second phase," ordered High Chancellor Drexnar. "Begin ground operations. I want complete planetary control within 3 rotations." Far below, on the surface of a broken Earth, Captain Ryan Hayes surveyed the damage on his USS Yorktown. The battleship had taken hits from plasma bombardment, but its crew worked tirelessly for repairs. "Damage report," he called to his engineering officer. "Port side armor gone, sir. Main gun down to 40% capacity, but we're still flying." Ryan nodded. They had survived the night, but morning brought worse news. Intelligence reported massive landing crafts descending from the mothership fleet. At Ground Defense Command, Major Kate Sullivan spread out tactical maps. Her staff, tired but determined, plotted intercept courses. The aliens are landing troops here, here, and here, she pointed to the maps. They're targeting our communication hubs and military bases. Do we have anything that can stop their transports? Asked Colonel Daniel Parker. Kate shook her head. Everything we fire bounces off their shields. We need a new approach. In his underground lab, Dr. Benjamin Clark continued his research. Sleep was a luxury he couldn't afford. His team analyzed captured alien equipment from downed scout ships. "Doctor, look at this," said his assistant Rachel Kim, pointing to a glowing component. "These power cores use quantum resonance." Benjamin's eyes lit up. "If we can reverse the polarity, we might create an overload," Rachel finished. They worked frantically, knowing their discovery could save lives. Human science had always advanced quickly during crisis. The Manhattan Project, the space race, medical breakthroughs during plagues. Necessity bred invention. The first Voshkari ground troops deployed southwest of Phoenix. Each warrior stood 3 meters tall, covered in biomechanical armor. They moved with precision, securing landing zones for heavier vehicles. Sergeant Amanda Griffin watched from her hidden position. She led a small team of Marines and civilian volunteers armed with everything from military rifles to hunting weapons. "Remember the plan," she whispered. "We're not here to win a fight. We're here to gather intel and survive." The alien warriors spread out, scanning for resistance. Their sensors detected no immediate threats. This relaxed their formations, a mistake they would soon regret. Amanda's team recorded everything: movement patterns, communication methods, weapon systems. One soldier, Private Ben Sanders, noticed something crucial. "Sarge, they've got blind spots. Their sensors don't scan directly behind them." This information spread through resistance networks. Small victories began accumulating. A successful ambush here, a supply convoy destroyed there. Nothing that would win the war, but enough to hurt the invaders. In the cosmic realm, Elder Thurvani observed these developments with growing concern. Her children dismissed the human resistance as, insignificant. "Look at their primitive tactics," scoffed Kurvak. "They hide and run like scared prey." But Thurvani saw something deeper. They learn quickly. Each engagement teaches them more about our warriors' weaknesses. Her offspring laughed. "What weakness?" "The Voshkari are perfect warriors, bred for conquest across 1,000 generations." "Perhaps," Thurvani murmured. "But even perfect weapons can be turned against their wielders." At Cheyenne Mountain, General Blake coordinated global resistance. Nations that had been rivals for decades now shared intel freely. Chinese scientists collaborated with Russian engineers. Israeli defense strategies merged with Indian counterterrorism experience. "The aliens expect us to fight as separate nations," Blake noted during a video conference with world leaders. "They've studied our history of division, but they don't understand our capacity for unity." Dr. Lisa Porter made a breakthrough in her research. Comparing alien technology with ancient Mars ruins, she found architectural patterns suggesting the Voshkari had failed an invasion attempt thousands of years ago. "They retreated," she told her NASA colleagues. "Something scared them off." "What could scare such an advanced race?" asked her colleague. Lisa downloaded all her findings to a secure server. "I don't know yet, but they left in a hurry. All their equipment abandoned, sealed away. On board the USS Yorktown, engineering teams worked miracles. They couldn't match Voshkari technology, but they could adapt it. Salvaged components from crashed alien ships were retrofitted with human systems. It doesn't fit perfect," admitted the chief engineer, "but it works. Our weapons now have a 12% chance of damaging their shields. From 0% to 12%, the improvement seemed small, but it gave hope. Other ships began implementing similar modifications. The Voshkari noticed these developments but remained unconcerned. In their experience, conquered species sometimes fought back initially, but superior technology always prevailed in the end. War Master Pexnari reviewed battle statistics. Human casualties now exceed 50 million. Organized military resistance dropping by 23% daily. Victory remains on schedule. Yet small disruptions accumulated. A Voshkari supply line hit by guerrilla attack. A communication relay destroyed by sabotage. Human fighters adapting their tactics hourly, not yearly as the aliens expected. In Washington, D.C.'s ruins, Major Kate Sullivan executed a daring plan. Her team rigged abandoned buildings with explosives, creating kill zones for advancing alien troops. The Voshkari warrior they captured became humanity's first prisoner. "It can speak our language," she reported to command after interrogation. The prisoner, designated Crix, provided limited information. Its indoctrination ran deep, but subtle details emerged about Voshkari organization and technology. "Your resistance is futile," Crix declared. "Our science masters will study your corpses to perfect conquest methods." Kate smiled coldly. "Your science masters might learn something, but not what they expect." Across Earth, humans demonstrated their defining characteristic: improvisation. A teenager in Detroit figured out alien patrol drones could be blinded by modified laser pointers. An elderly professor in London discovered their communication used predictable encryption. A plumber in Sydney found their machinery couldn't handle certain chemical compounds. None of these discoveries won major battles, but they spread hope. If the invaders could be inconvenienced, perhaps they could be hurt. The elder gods convened again, and Thurvani presented her concerns to the Eternal Council. "The Voshkari misunderstand their enemy," she said. "They see individual weaknesses and miss collective strength." The oldest elder god, who had witnessed galaxies birth and die, responded, "The humans possess the catalyst trait." The cosmic realm fell silent. The catalyst trait was legendary, a species characteristic that turned disadvantages into advantages, weaknesses into strengths. "Are you certain?" asked another elder. "Watch them adapt," the Ancient One replied. "Watch them collaborate despite historic divisions. Watch them innovate under pressure." Back on Earth, the second day of invasion ended with continuing alien advances but slowing progress. The Voshkari still held major strategic points, but their casualty rates had unexpectedly doubled. Lieutenant Commander Julie Thompson compiled resistance reports. 73 successful ambushes today. Alien forces now scanning rear flanks. During advances, their standard tactics are shifting. The learning curve ran both directions. As Voshkari adapted to human tactics, humans found new approaches. The cosmic observers noted this cyclical adaptation with ancient interest. Elder Thurvani watched her children's warriors struggle against unexpected challenges. A species that should have surrendered by now continued fighting. They lost every major engagement, but won countless minor ones. "Begin preparing the ritual," she instructed her attendants. "We must consult the precursor archives about human psychological warfare." The archives hadn't been opened in eons. Whatever drove the precursors to warn against facing humans had been largely forgotten. But now, watching Earth's resistance, the elder gods sought ancient knowledge. As cosmic night fell, both sides prepared for continued conflict. The Voshkari maintained their advantage in technology and numbers, but humans had something the invaders didn't yet understand: the ability to thrive in chaos, to find strength in vulnerability, to turn every setback into a lesson for eventual victory. The stage was set for humanity's true nature to emerge in the face of annihilation. Dr. Benjamin Clark was on his 96th hour without sleep when his team achieved the breakthrough. Their reverse-engineered alien power core sat on a lab bench, surrounded by human components that shouldn't work together but somehow did. The frequency. "Modulation is stable," reported Rachel Kim, her hands shaking from exhaustion and excitement. "We've successfully created a counter-resonance field." Benjamin rubbed his bloodshot eyes. "Show me the test results." They watched as their modified EMP device disrupted an alien shield generator fragment. The energy barrier flickered and died. "This is it," Benjamin breathed. "Get this to production immediately." I want 1,000 units ready by tomorrow. Across the world, similar breakthroughs emerged. In Moscow, a physicist named Dr. Vladimir Petrov discovered alien navigation systems relied on quantum entanglement that could be jammed. In Tokyo, engineer Kenji Tanaka figured out how to overload Voshkari sensors using modified sonar frequencies. Human creativity, driven by desperation, worked miracles with duct tape, salvaged parts, and improvised solutions. In occupied Houston, Sergeant Amanda Griffin led her resistance cell through the sewers. Her team had grown from 5 to 15 people, including a mix of Marines, police officers, and armed civilians. "Target is 3 blocks ahead," she whispered, checking her modified scanner. "Alien patrol pattern hasn't changed in 2 days." Frank Peterson, a former high school physics teacher, adjusted his homemade EMP weapon. "I can disable 2 of their walkers, but you'll have a 30-second window before backup arrives." "That's all we need," Amanda replied. The ambush happened in broad daylight. The Voshkari patrol consisted of 2 bipedal walkers and 10 infantry units. They moved with mechanical precision down Main Street, searching for human survivors. Frank's EMP burst hit the walkers simultaneously. Their shields collapsed, then their motors seized. The alien infantry immediately formed a defensive circle, but Amanda's team struck from multiple directions using conventional weapons. In the 30 seconds before reinforcements arrived, the resistance killed 6 Voshkari warriors and captured their weapons. By the time backup reached the scene, Amanda's team had vanished into the ruins. War Master Pexnari received the after-action report with growing irritation. "This marks the 47th successful insurgent attack this cycle. Why can't we eliminate these pests?" "Their tactics are becoming sophisticated," admitted his intelligence officer. "They study our weaknesses and share countermeasures across their communication networks. Increase patrol rotations, double the sensor range, execute all captured prisoners." "Already implemented, War Master, but they adapt to every change." In the USS Columbia's rebuilt bridge, Commander Jason Miller reviewed the newest intelligence from global resistance networks. Captain Ryan Hayes stood beside him, both men haggard from constant battle. "The good news: we've successfully launched EMPs on 47% of alien ground vehicles," Jason reported. "Bad news: they're starting to shield against our frequencies." Ryan pointed to the tactical display. "But look at this. Their reinforcement response time has increased by 20%. They're spreading their forces thin, trying to counter our guerrilla attacks." "We're not just surviving anymore," Jason realized. "We're forcing them to change their strategy." At NASA headquarters, Dr. Lisa Porter connected to a global science conference via emergency protocols. Scientists from every nation shared research through quantum encrypted channels. "The alien technology isn't just advanced," Lisa explained to her peers. "It's specialized for conquering unified governments and conventional militaries. They've never faced distributed resistance before." A Chinese scientist responded, "Our analysis shows Voshkari conquered 73 worlds in the past millennium. All surrendered within 10 local days. We're on day 3, noted an Indian researcher, and our resistance is strengthening, not weakening." In the cosmic realm, the Elder Gods' ancient archives revealed disturbing truths. Elderly Thurvani read, from texts that hadn't been accessed in eons, "The precursors encountered humans 50,000 years ago," she announced to the assembled council. "They studied them extensively before leaving Earth undisturbed." "What did they discover?" asked Kurvak, less dismissive now than before. Thurvani's voice carried through the cosmic realm. "Humans possess recursive adaptation ability. They improve their solutions while implementing them. They fight with incomplete data and refine tactics during combat." The Elder Council considered this information. The catalyst trait, they now understood, meant humans could evolve their capabilities within a single generation or even a single battle. The precursors marked humanity as uncontainable through conventional conquest, Thurvani concluded. They recommended complete avoidance as the safest approach. Her children still refused to accept this assessment. Their pride in the Voshkari Military wouldn't allow such defeatism. On Earth, Major Kate Sullivan coordinated the largest resistance operation attempted thus far. Her plan: simultaneous strikes against alien communication nodes in 12 major cities. "We hit them all at once," she briefed team leaders via secure video link. "They can't reinforce everywhere simultaneously." The operation, codenamed Discord, began at midnight. In London, Paris, Berlin, Sydney, Cape Town, Rio, Mexico City, Toronto, Tokyo, Dubai, Mumbai, and Seoul, human fighters struck. Each team used adapted tactics based on local conditions. In Tokyo, they collapsed subway tunnels onto alien patrols. In Paris, they used the catacombs for unexpected attacks. In Dubai, they modified construction drones for aerial bombardment. The coordinated assault overwhelmed Voshkari response systems. For the first time, multiple alien strongholds went dark for several hours. High Chancellor Drexnar demanded explanations. "This should be impossible. Our communication networks are theoretically immune to primitive interference." "The humans aren't attacking our networks directly," his advisor reported. "They're attacking the physical nodes with unexpected methods. They use our own structural weakness against us." Meanwhile, production facilities hidden in abandoned mines and underground bunkers churned out new weapons. Human engineers combined alien technology with Earth materials, creating hybrid systems that neither species had considered possible. The quantum EMP became standard issue for resistance teams. Modified alien plasma rifles powered by human nuclear batteries offered portable anti-armor capability. Ships like the USS Yorktown and USS Columbia now carried shields based on captured technology. Dr. Benjamin Clark worked with international teams to reverse engineer captured Voshkari medical technology. "They're biological warriors with mechanical enhancements," he explained to his staff. "If we can understand their biology, we can develop specific countermeasures." The research led to the development of sonic weapons tuned to disrupt alien neural systems, not lethal but incapacitating enough to capture live specimens for further study. In a Voshkari medical bay, captured human prisoner Daniel Wright was subjected to examination. The alien scientists expected to find primitive cellular structure. Instead, they discovered something unusual. "The human stress response triggers rapid neural adaptation," reported the lead researcher. "Their brain chemistry literally evolves during extended crisis situations." This finding alarmed the Voshkari Medical Command. Their warriors were bred for stability and predictability. Human brain plasticity represented an unknown variable in combat psychology. Above Earth, the space battle continued with growing intensity. Human fighters, once helpless against alien ships, now scored occasional hits. Admiral Peter Mitchell coordinated the defense from the USS Columbia. "We're not winning," he told his staff, "but we're not losing anymore." The turning point came when Captain Andrea Williams, commanding the USS Washington, successfully executed humanity's first capture of an alien vessel. Her crew had developed a boarding strategy using modified spacesuits and alien airlocks. "The ship is ours, Admiral," she reported triumphantly, "and it's full of technical data." The captured vessel provided a treasure trove of information. Human experts found maintenance logs, tactical manuals, and most importantly, complete schematics of Voshkari's shield technology. Elder Thurvani watched these developments with growing dread. Her offspring still commanded superior forces, but the advantage diminished daily. The catalyst trait was proving even more powerful than the precursor warning suggested. "They turn every loss into knowledge," she observed. "Every dead human teaches their survivors new survival methods." As the third day of invasion ended, both sides assessed their positions. The Voshkari controlled most major infrastructure, but faced constant harassment. Their casualty rate had tripled since day one. Humans had lost millions but gained something more valuable: the knowledge that their enemy could be fought, could be hurt, could be beaten. The psychological shift from victim to aggressor had begun. In bunkers worldwide, resistance cells studied captured alien technology. In laboratories, scientists pushed human ingenuity to its limits. In the cockpits of scratched fighters, pilots learned alien ship weaknesses firsthand. The Voshkari invasion, planned for quick victory, had transformed into a grinding conflict. Neither side yet realized that humanity's greatest weapon remained undeployed. The full fury of a species fighting for survival with its back against the wall. The air above Berlin turned green with alien energy as the Voshkari prepared their ultimate weapon. The Death Pulse Array, used only once before to destroy a planetary population, powered up aboard their flagship Dominion. Charging complete. In 180 seconds, reported the weapons master. The human capital centers will cease to exist. High Chancellor Drexnar observed from his command throne. 4 days of unexpected resistance had pushed his patience to its limit. Fire when ready. Let this primitive world see true power. In her quantum physics lab beneath MIT, Dr. Janet Rogers detected the massive energy buildup through satellite readings. Her team had been monitoring Voshkari power signatures for days looking for patterns. "This is different," she announced, voice tight with urgency. "This energy signature is off the charts. If they release this..." Her assistant brought up thermal projections. The death zone would cover hundreds of miles. Millions would die instantly. Janet grabbed her phone and speed-dialed General Blake. "They're about to deploy something huge. We need the quantum field generator online immediately." "Doctor, that prototype hasn't been tested. No time for tests. It's this or Berlin becomes a crater." While Janet's team recalibrated their experimental device, thousands of miles away, Lieutenant Chris Matthews piloted his captured Voshkari fighter through Earth's atmosphere. His mission: infiltrate the enemy flagship's defenses long enough to gather intelligence on their superweapon. The stolen ship's transponder fooled guard patrols. Chris approached the Dominion with calculated confidence, knowing one wrong move meant death. His co-pilot, Samantha Lee, operated the alien scanning systems. "Energy readings are astronomical," she whispered. "Whatever they're building up to, fire, it's more powerful than their initial bombardment." Chris activated his suit recorder. "Central Command, this is Raven 6. Confirm weapon charging patterns match doomsday protocols described in captured data. Recommend immediate defense deployment." In the cosmic realm, Elder Thurvani watched with growing horror as the Voshkari prepared to violate their own invasion doctrine. "They're going to use the obliteration protocol?" she exclaimed. "That weapon is forbidden for first contact scenarios." Her children shifted uncomfortably. "The resistance is stronger than expected. Complete destruction may be necessary for..." "You fools," Thurvani interrupted. "The precursors specifically warned against backing humans to this corner. When cornered, they grow beyond known parameters of response." The Death Pulse Array reached critical charge. Its targeting systems locked onto Berlin, London, New York, Beijing, Moscow, and Tokyo simultaneously. 6 major population centers would be eradicated to break human morale. But Janet Rogers and her international team weren't finished. While military forces engaged Voshkari defensive positions, scientists worldwide activated their prototype, a planet-wide quantum interference field designed to disturb massive energy discharges. The field came online with 1 second to spare. When the Voshkari fired, reality itself seemed to ripple. The Death Pulse launched but met unexpected resistance from Earth's hastily erected quantum barrier. The energy split, refracted, and turned back toward its source. Aboard the Dominion, emergency alarms screamed. "Critical feedback detected. The pulse is returning. Shields up. Full power to..." The flagship's own weapons struck its shields with terrible force. The exotic energy, designed to penetrate planetary defenses, found vulnerabilities in the Voshkari's protection. 3 battlecruisers near the flagship were caught in the backlash and exploded into cosmic dust. On Earth, the ripple effect was visible from space. The green energy dissipated in the atmosphere, creating auroras that stretched across hemispheres. The cities survived, and humanity witnessed their first major counterstrike against the invaders. Chris Matthews captured the event from his disguised fighter. His ship's sensors recorded everything as the Voshkari fleet scattered in confusion. Samantha transmitted the data streams directly to Earth's resistance networks. "They're vulnerable," she reported excitedly. "Their superweapons backlash damaged multiple systems. They're actually retreating." Ground forces noticed the change immediately. Voshkari patrols that had been advancing aggressively now moved cautiously, checking for quantum field traps. Their invincible aura had cracked. Colonel Richard Blake, leading Earth's largest conventional force, seized the moment. Armed with new quantum pulse weapons, his battalion engaged alien positions. Outside Chicago, "Everything we've learned we use now," he commanded. Frequency cycling, shield phase shifting, quantum feedback loops, all of it. The battle was humanity's first conventional victory since the invasion began. Voshkari walkers, previously unstoppable, fell to the quantum pulses. Their infantry's bioshields failed against sonic disruptors. For the first time, human forces advanced while aliens retreated. Dr. Benjamin Clark received footage from the Chicago engagement in his research bunker. His team analyzed every frame, looking for new technological insights. "Look at their retreat formation," noted Rachel Kim. "They're still tactical, but they're hesitating. The quantum feedback scared them." Benjamin rubbed his temples. "They thought they knew our limits. We just showed them we don't have any." In the Voshkari High Council chamber, emergency session convened. The flagship needed repairs. Their casualty reports showed numbers not seen since their ancient wars against peer civilizations. "The humans have damaged the Dominion," admitted War Master Pexinari, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Their primitive quantum science shouldn't have capabilities to match ours. Perhaps we underestimated their technological adaptation rate," suggested the science minister. "Our invasion models assumed linear human development. They're showing exponential growth under pressure." High Chancellor Drexnar glared at his council. 4 days of what should have been easy conquest had cost him 12% of his invasion fleet. Captured humans revealed the existence of a global resistance network he hadn't anticipated. "Increase orbital bombardment," he ordered. "Isolated cities, communication hubs, production facilities. If we cannot conquer their unity, we will shatter it." But humanity's adaptation accelerated beyond Voshkari comprehension. Manufacturing plants hidden in subterranean complexes produced quantum shields for major cities. Hospital networks learned to counteract alien bioweapons by studying captured specimens. Resistance leader James Taylor, operating from Mobile Command Center, directed hit-and-run attacks against alien supply lines. His network included former special forces, criminals who knew tunnel systems, and tech experts who hacked alien drones. "They're bringing up orbital strikes," he warned his cells. "Code red protocols. Everyone underground for the next 48 hours. The orbital bombardment began that night. Green death rained from space but found many targets protected by the new shields. Human cities took damage but survived. Each blast strengthened the quantum shields through passive energy absorption. Admiral Peter Mitchell coordinated the space defense from the USS Columbia. With captured alien ship schematics, human engineers had modified Earth satellites into orbital mines. The Voshkari fleet, focused on ground bombardment, discovered this new defensive layer when 2 destroyers unexpectedly detonated. "They're moving to higher orbit," reported his tactical officer. "Engagement range increasing." Peter smiled grimly. "All ships, implement Operation Rising Phoenix. Time to show them what we've learned." The USS Columbia, USS Yorktown, and USSA. Washington led a formation of human vessels equipped with reverse-engineered alien technology and human innovations. They climbed rapidly toward the enemy fleet. The Voshkari, used to fighting against inferior technology, hesitated. Their tactical doctrine demanded superiority in every engagement, but human forces now demonstrated something they couldn't predict. Technological equality achieved through salvage, ingenuity, and desperate necessity. In the cosmic realm, Elder Thurvani addressed her children with ancient wisdom. "The humans have reached the acceleration point. Every victory teaches them more than it costs them." Korvak, watching destruction of Voshkari ships, finally showed concern. "How do we stop them without committing our full armada?" "You don't understand," Thurvani replied. "They've turned your invasion into a crucible. Every challenge you present becomes a lesson they master. The precursors knew this trait made humans uniquely dangerous. The battle for Earth's orbit intensified. Voshkari warships fired with superior weapons but found themselves matched by quantum-enhanced human shields. When human railguns failed to penetrate alien armor, Plasma torpedoes succeeded. When those were countered, gravitational missiles proved effective. The humans fought with weapons they'd invented in days, powered by alien technology they'd mastered in hours. Pilots barely out of basic training executed maneuvers that challenged Voshkari warrior doctrine. By day's end, the invasion force had lost its momentum. Ground operations stalled against coordinated resistance. Orbital control remained contested. The Voshkari military machine, designed for overwhelming victory, faced something new. A technological arms race against an opponent that adapted faster than they could react. High Chancellor Drexnar reviewed damage reports with growing unease. His flagship needed major repairs. His ground forces reported increasing casualties. The Voshkari fleet retreated from Earth's orbit with plasma burns scarring their hulls. High Chancellor Drexnar sat in stunned silence as casualty reports poured in. 43% of his invasion force was damaged or destroyed. This outcome was impossible. "We lost?" asked War Master Pexnari, his mandibles clicking in disbelief. "We cannot sustain this action," replied the Admiral. "The humans now match our technology in key areas. Their adaptation rate exceeds all known parameters." On Earth's surface, cheers erupted from resistance cells and military bases. People emerged from bunkers to witness enemy ships burning in the atmosphere. The mighty Voshkari, conquerors of 73 worlds, had been stopped by humans using modified alien technology and desperate creativity. Admiral Peter Mitchell stood on the USS Columbia's bridge, watching the retreat through damaged viewports. His fleet, hobbled but victorious, pursued the withdrawing invaders beyond lunar orbit. "Maintain pursuit distance," he ordered. "Confirm they're really leaving our system." Lieutenant Sarah Williams tracked their trajectory. "Confirmed, sir. They're heading toward the outer system jump point. All troop transports are withdrawing from planetary surface." In his underground command center, General Blake coordinated cleanup operations. Resistance teams emerged from shadows to secure abandoned alien equipment. Cities began counting the dead while celebrating survival. "Final casualty count?" he asked his aide. 79 million lost, sir. But the infrastructure is intact in 60% of major cities." Blake nodded grimly. A terrible price, but humanity had survived. Dr. Benjamin Clark reviewed captured data with his team. Rachel Kim pointed to specific alien communications they'd intercepted during the retreat. "They're reporting back to their homeworld," she translated. "Listen to this. Subject species demonstrates incompatible survival paradigm. Standard conquest protocols ineffective. Recommend quarantine status." Benjamin leaned forward. "They're warning their own empire not to engage humans." In the cosmic realm, Elder Thurvani confronted her children as they watched the Voshkari fleet limp away from Earth. Her ancient face showed no triumph, only vindication. "The precursors were wise to mark humans as uncontainable," she said. "You saw it happen. In merely 4 days, they progressed from prey to predator." Kurvak, thoroughly humbled, asked, "What do we do now?" "Now we observe," Thurvani replied. "The humans have discovered their own potential. They will expand. They will advance. And they will remember those who attacked them." Across the galaxy, reports of the Voshkari defeat spread through cosmic networks. For the first time in galactic history, a recently discovered species had defeated an established empire's invasion force. Other civilizations took notice. The Hexari Collective immediately declared humans a developing apex threat. The Nomari Federation began drafting first contact protocols for eventual human expansion. The Takari Brotherhood, longtime rivals of the Voshkari, sent covert scouts to observe these remarkable primates. On Earth, the mood shifted from relief to determination. President Johnson addressed survivors through global communication networks. "We fought as a united planet and we survived. Now we build as one species. They brought war to our door. We'll bring the future to the stars." Dr. Lisa Porter presented her findings to world leaders. "The alien technology we've acquired represents a 1,000-year jump in our science. We can now build our own starships." Construction began immediately. In orbital yards above Earth, human engineers combined captured alien tech with their own innovations. The first vessel took shape, USS Vengeance, named for those lost in the invasion. Aboard the retreating flagship Dominion, medical officer Xenix studied combat recordings with growing concern. The humans exhibited three critical characteristics: rapid innovation under pressure, universal information sharing, and fearlessness in the face of superior force. "Surely they cannot achieve interstellar travel within our regeneration cycle?" asked another officer. "Their advancement has already exceeded our predictive models," Xenix replied. "We may see human ships within 10 galactic cycles." 6 months after the invasion's end, Lieutenant Commander Alex Turner sat in the captain's chair of USS Venture, Earth's first interstellar exploration vessel. His crew represented 42 nations, unified by their shared ordeal. "Preliminary warp drive test successful," reported his chief engineer, Dr. Maria Garcia. "We're ready for our first jump beyond the solar system." Alex smiled grimly. Humanity wasn't just looking for new worlds to explore. They were hunting for those who had attacked them. The prey had become the predator. In elder god councils across the cosmos, warnings spread. Never face a human when they are threatened. Never face them when they are united. Never give them a common enemy. But it was too late. Earth broadcast its message to nearby star systems. We survived. We adapted. We remember. And now we come. The Voshkari Empire, humbled by their defeat, erected a do-not-engage barrier around Earth's solar system. They instructed their warriors to avoid human space entirely. Their invasion fleet, meant to crush a primitive world, had instead birthed humanity's transformation into a spacefaring power. As USS Venture's engines powered up for its first FTL jump, Earth's defenders knew one truth: the galaxy would learn what the Voshkari discovered too late. When pushed to the edge, humans don't just survive, they evolve. They don't just fight back, they revolutionize. The age of human expansion had begun, and the stars themselves would learn to respect the Yao, species that turned a planet's darkest day into the dawn of an interstellar empire.